Alright, it's been like a week since I've made a video and 2 weeks since I reviewed Jujutsu Kaisen. I just had a lot going on in life recently. It's also been like a week since I watched this episode to take notes. They have a big episode, big fight coming tomorrow. I probably won't be able to review it right away, unfortunately. But I am excited too, so I'm going to try and get the next episode. I don't remember what episode I'm on. The next one done soon. So because I haven't watched this episode in like a week, I'm going to probably forget some of the stuff I wanted to say about it that I did put in my notes. But I'm going to try and do this anyways. So I wrote down that it has a beautiful open to a backdrop of a feudal Japan-esque temple. I think I remember what I was talking about. There's like a shrine and like a mountain in the background and stuff, and it just looked really nice. I believe that's what I was talking about. We cut to Nobara and Fushiguro, and they're kind of hanging out, and it seems like they've gotten really close, and since Ichidori's death, it's like his death brought them closer together, because they didn't know each other, but for like a week or however long, I don't know how long they were together in the universe, but it's cool to see that they're kind of becoming friends. Panda and the other two characters, I can't remember their names. They're upperclassmen, they're looking for them, but they can't find them. And then two other older students come to confront Fushiguro and Nobara. They're from the other Jujutsu school. We find out that the Zenin has a twin sister who's also a Zenin, or Zenin, or however it's pronounced. That was just an interesting thing, I thought. Her name is Mai, and she's trying to push their buttons, and well, she starts trying to push their buttons and get the emotional blood at Itadori, essentially trying to set them off so that they start a fight. It's clear she likes to manipulate people and stuff, so she's talking about Itadori's death and how he's a piece of shit and he was a curse and all this other shit. The larger guy that's with Mai, he starts talking about he wants to find someone who can take Otatsu's place. I don't know if Otatsu is the name of the school that they go to, or if it's like a student who died, or what Otatsu is, or who it is, but he kept mentioning it, and I couldn't quite grasp what it is, but that's what he kept talking about. He wanted to know if Fushiguro could take Otatsu's place, or if their Jujutsu tech could take their place, or something like that. I didn't really get it. Obviously he becomes a comedic character because this mangaka really enjoys his comedy. I think the comedy is going to fade away eventually as the series gets darker, but it's very clearly that this early portion is filled with a lot of comedy. I wrote down that maybe Otatsu is their academy because I just kept thinking about like, what the hell is that going to be? The big guy's name is Todo, and he attacks Fushiguro and starts fighting him, and then Mai grabs Nobara, and both their fights begin. Todo fought a bunch of curses, including special grade, and it's mentioned that he did so without using curse energy, and he fought them all by himself and beat them all, so you know he's a prodigy, he's a big strong dude. It said it was set up by Geto, so that would explain why Geto didn't want to be seen. I'm pretty sure Geto was a samurai looking dude. That would explain why he didn't want to be seen by Gojo, because he's the one who created this curse attack or whatever the hell that Todo destroyed. Fushiguro asks him about him not using Jujutsu, and he corrects him and says that he did use it against the special grade curse. Meaning that he doesn't use it on anything lower than a special grade curse or something of equivalent power. So it's clear he's much like Itadori, like a naturally gifted freak, basically. But that's what they said, is that the Jujutsu recruits like naturally gifted people, realizing that they can go so much farther than a regular person. I wrote down more lame-ass Fushiguro powers because he, of course, has to summon his familiars, his Shikikami, and it's a bunch of frogs. And I wrote down, it's fucking winged frogs, oh my god, because it's just like, come on. Come on. I don't want to see no fucking frogs, get out of here. Toto's too fast, he destroys some of them. He gives Fushiguro a belly-to-back suplex technique and then uses some brawling stuff. He's very physically strong. He's extremely fast. Pretty classic shonen stuff. The frogs grab him with their tongues, but of course he just breaks free because they're fucking frogs and Fushiguro's power sucks. Toto makes Fushiguro get serious. And then seeing Fushiguro get serious makes me really hope that he starts getting some better abilities, because him summoning these things just fucking sucks. We finally see what the cursed speech is. He tells the guy who uses it that speaks in the the ingredients of a rice ball or something like that. He says freeze or hold or something, and it stops Toto from moving. So like if he speaks something normal, like a command, it'll basically stop a person and they have to obey his commands or something like that. And we see Panda jump down and punch him, so we get the idea that Panda's of comparable strength to Toto, probably not as strong, but it knocks him back. So Panda's main thing, I'm assuming, is going to be that he's strong as well, because he's a panda. Mai does beat Nabarro and apparently wants to shoot her, which I don't understand. That seems odd that a Jujutsu Tech student would want to kill another student if that's what she was going to do. I don't understand what the fuck that was about. Maki, that's the main one's name, that doesn't use a gun and does use other weapons. Maki stops her and holds like her staff toward the gun or something, I think, and basically tells her to stop. And they start having they start talking. I was gonna say argument, but they don't really argue. They just start talking and mocking each other, and they basically say that Mai has like very little cursed energy compared to most people, and Maki has absolutely none. So they're both like really lame compared to everyone else, which is interesting. I didn't realize there were going to be people without powers, but that does certainly change things up a bit. Maki's certainly going to be more versatile than Mai, because Mai just uses a gun, it would seem. I would imagine she can use all sorts of guns, though. But she also has a little bit of cursed energy, so I'm assuming she can infuse the bullets with that, while Maki has nothing and just has these cursed objects, which we'll find out later. While they're talking, Nabar gets up and gets a grappling move on Mai, choking her out. But the fight's over. Toto shows up. Nabar lets Mai go. Toto takes off with Mai because he's going to go see an idol. If you're not super familiar with Japanese stuff, idols are basically singers. They're like a pop star in the United States. It's essentially the same thing. Except it's a lot more corporate and marketed and stuff, and a little fucked up and immoral. People who do it usually, I think, end up more fucked up than pop idols do. Or pop stars. So Nobara's still talking to Maki about her powers, and Maki tells her that because she doesn't have any cursed energy, she can't even see curses naturally. It needs special glasses. I didn't know that glasses could be cursed, but it's interesting. I said that I like that she has all kinds of different tools, and because of that and the versatility of her, I think she's probably gonna be in my top 5 favorite characters of that series. I mean, that remains to be seen, but she's certainly the type of character that I appreciate in a series like this, where she's got a lot of versatility in her use. I'm sure some people would want to compare her to Batman, but Batman's an awful fucking character, so I wouldn't make that comparison. But I do like her. And then we cut to the Jujutsu school, and we see an old man who we could assume is the principal that was meeting or something. Gojo comes in and starts talking to him and basically explains that he's among the higher-ups that wanted Itadori dead. He starts talking to him. As they're talking, this the attendant, who's a student for the school that the principal goes to, starts cutting in and telling Gojo he should be more respectful of the principal, but in her mind we find out that she's a fan of Gojo. It's kind of like a Sasuke thing in Naruto, basically. And then we get like an interesting bit of dialogue from Gojo where he's basically explaining that the higher-ups haven't actually been like defeating the curses and stuff. They've just been trying to hold back like a tidal wave of curses by taking out them when they crop up. From what I understand of what he was saying, he's basically explaining that they've been very passive. When a curse pops up, they'll attack the curse, but they don't go out and hunt them. And because they don't hunt them, the curse energies, or the curses and the curse energy have been building. And now it's overflowing, and there's all these super powerful curses that are showing up, and there's going to be a big cataclysm because of it. That's my understanding of what he was saying. That's not exactly what he said, but that's how I interpreted it. And Gojo starts commenting on how there was special grade curses that could talk, and basically saying that once again reinforcing the idea that the grading system is pointless. Which I still don't know if that's them taking a shot at power scaling and stuff, but it's definitely showing that you can't define people so easily with titles like that, which I do like. I mean, that's a common thing in shonen. The things will have titles, and then the titles will be shown to be meaningless. But I do still appreciate it here. I think it's handled pretty well. It's interesting to see it be made useless in a universe like this. Where was that? Oh, here we go. And we come back to Todo. Well, Gojo leaves, and then the principal asks the student to get him a tea or something, and she runs out. Todo meets his idol and gets this thing signed, and I guess she's in a TV show or something. And then we have a 1 month time skip. And there's some people in a seat in a movie theater, and it looks like they've been turned into curses. Their heads are all deformed and shit and fucked up. A passive looking boy, he's like got hair down to one eye. He would look emo if this was the 90s, but it's not, so he's just like scrawny bitch boy or something, I don't know. He approaches the scarred guy. I can't remember his name now. It's Mojito or something like that. And he's shocked that the boy can see him, which I thought was weird because I thought this guy was a human that had cursed power. But if the boy can see him and he's surprised by that, then maybe he's actually a curse that looks like a human, which would be really weird. I don't know. And then Itadori shows up with a man with glasses. And they're talking about, like, he's basically tells his story to get ready. Mira, which is the girl's name that was with the principal, she gets her picture with Gojo. There's this bit at the end where she walks back in the room after the picture and the principal looks at her and asks her where his tea is, and she goes, ah. Which I thought was funny because I've had moments like that where someone will ask me to do something and I use it as an excuse to go and do something else, and then when I, finish and get back to them, they ask where their thing was, and I'm like, oh fuck. I've done that before, so I thought that was really funny. And then, because Maya was kind of pissed off at Toto, he thought that she didn't see the idol, so Maya goes to see the idol. And she kind of does this weird seductive thing where she talks to Maya real nice and stuff, and Maya kind of I don't know. I don't want to say she was aroused, but she enjoyed the company of the idol, basically, the interaction. So I have watched the next episode, but since these notes were taken before that one, I'm reading it as though I haven't. I'm hoping to review it soon and get it up and then watch this next episode, because this newest one is the one I'm really wanting to see.